Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
To ensure that he's able to enjoy the same things that I enjoyed when I was in Addo-Otchere school. Incidentally, Paul and I, our children are in the same class. Same class. So maybe we can afford a little extra to pay. But what about Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. D? Whose children have to get all A's at SHS and then go for an interview. Which interview, if you fail, your all A's doesn't matter. And it's all because of capacity. I dare say that a C student can become a medical officer.
Yeah.
Right? A C student can become a medical officer. In Cuba, doctors are trained in polytechnics. So we are leaving a lot of our young people behind, and woe betide us. Examples abound. When somebody motivates them to take up arms against us, they'll blame all of us. It doesn't matter what party you support, they'll blame all of us. So we need to offer better circumstances to the young people in this country. We have no excuse. Okay. And I am glad that President Mahama has taken that challenge and he is effecting it without any equivocation.
Yeah. Oh, you want to say something?
Yeah, I like Kojo's verve. But you see, the problem that he's addressing is an interesting one. It is because we have not focused on policy. And he was talking about this issue of when people get angry, when politicians are taking advantage of their taxes and all of that. This issue about presidential motorcade. There are videos circulating today berating John Mahama's motorcade over the last 8 months. If you watch those videos and you watch Akufo-Addo's motorcade, it looks the same. You can go back to Akufo, it looks the same. The conversation is the same. Why don't we come out as people? And we may be failing the young people he's talking about. Maybe it is this generation that has failed them since 2008, because we have refused to delineate on paper what a politician can do and what a politician cannot do. Every ill that you can say about the history of NDC, you may find the same about MPP. It is true that NDC won the last elections, and it will not be the last election that NDC ever wins. But it's also true that NDC have lost elections arbitrarily and abysmally before. It is true that free SHS was a policy that was touted by the Akufo-Addo government. But it's not just free SHS. There was STEM education, there was ICT kindergarten, there was 80 educational projects opened one day, there was fees for all public schools, BEC, absorbed by the government for the first time. There was 3,000 education infrastructure projects completed. STEM was introduced to this country by Akufo-Addo. It's for the young people. They are benefiting from it. There were 300 science laboratories instituted across Ghana. In sports, there were 3 AstroTurfs in 2016. By the time Akufo-Addo was leaving, it's 150. There were 300 ambulances nationwide put across. There was free TVET, which was novel, never happened. There were several model STEM schools built, Abomosu STEM School, Penkaso STEM School, Dabiaso STEM School. STEM. Ghana leads in STEM because of Akufo-Addo's vision. There was Agenda 111, which was supposed to have 111 hospitals. It ended up having less than 10% of it, but it was a project started. There was upgrading of police and security services. There were 3 helicopters to the police. Today we are hearing that they were bought old, etc., etc. There were restoration of trainee fee allowances, which President Mahama is continuing. There was free dialysis, sickle cell, and childhood, which President Mahama is continuing under Mahama Care. There was 1 district, 1 factory. These are the things that have to be done, that every government can say these are the things that we have done to move forward. But importantly, so that we don't take advantage of each other in a way that another one can take advantage 8 years' time. Because it will happen. President Mahama became president in January. By March, he traveled somewhere and then you see the video. Somebody standing, somebody standing, say, Share Mahama cars. And he's counting it. It is there. Just coming from the same election where we campaigned that somebody was doing it, because we have refused to delineate certain things. When the budget for the Jubilee House was issued, and they said media and communication is 78 million. Then NDC said the MPP's own was more. MPP said the NDC's own is more. Why can't Parliament have a decision-making system that says that this is the president's convoy? Every president will have this convoy. But because if we keep on taking advantage and there's no delineation of what has to be done and what should not be done, and that is a failure of this generation, especially the politicians since 2004, 2008. We talk about, Kojo makes a point about Ghana Airways and how we lost Ghana Airways. The Ghana Airways problem is something that started under something called DIC, he knows it, Diversity Implementation Committee. The Rawlings government felt that there were too many state-owned enterprises that were not performing. It is true that Kwame Nkrumah set up Ghana Airways. Sometime in the 80s, Kwesi Botwe read the budget, and the whole Ghana was shocked to know that Ghana Airways tickets were being subsidized by the Ministry of Finance, that if individuals buy tickets on Ghana Airways, it was being subsidized. It was good for the 1960s to give the Ghanaians the exposure that we need, but it was irrelevant in the 1980s, and that was saddling the government of Ghana with so much debt owed to Ghana Airways. So that process began, the deconstruction of Ghana Airways as an entity that was not properly managed in the financial sense, began in the Rawlings era, and it came to Kufuor's era, and he took the decision that we have to perhaps change it into Ghana International Airline, blah, 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 blah. Mistakes could have been made. But these are things that you can't put on one political party or the other. That's the point I'm making, that it is very, very important that we begin to set out these things. Otherwise, in 2008, we say Kufuor is a villain. In 2023, we say he's a hero. Same Kufuor. He didn't do anything after 2008. It is the same set of facts that delivered him in an equation as a villain in 2008. Same set of facts delivers Kufuor in 2024 as a hero. Not by MPP, but by NDC. The NDC that said that Kufuor was a villain with the same set of facts of Kufuor's administration came back in 2023 in pointing out Akufo-Addo's faults and Bawumia's faults, said that Kufuor is far better than all of you. President Mahama lost elections in 2016. President Mahama won elections in 2024. So until and unless we understand, like it is in many developed societies, that we have to delineate what we can discuss and what Parliament must agree on. So we know that the salary of a president is agreed on by a commission that is set up every now and then through the parliamentary process. So nobody complains about salary of a president. Whatever other things that are done, whether the president can carry his own chair, whether chief executives can carry their own chair, whether the president's motorcade must have 3 cars, 2 cars, 7 cars, 8 cars, those things should be delineated so that the political class can be left with policy. What is TVET? Why did you bring TVET? It's a bad policy, so we can discuss policy and leave out, oh, people are suffering and we are on the taxpayers, you're on the taxpayers' neck, and one politician points to them. You see, whilst you are suffering, he is traveling to Britain with the president in business class. Whilst you are suffering, he is doing that. Whilst you are suffering, President Mahama came and announced the policy of his ministers should not travel in first class. Should that be a political question for the president? No. It should be a delineated matter in Parliament. So you know a rank from chief director travels this way, deputy minister travels this way, and every deputy minister, whether regime A or regime B. Until and unless we get there, our politics will be, you chook me, I chook you. That's, as they say, dog bites dog. That's where we are. And if we continue that, it is we, myself, Kojo, and others, who have failed the generation that he's complaining about. Because it is time for us to stop the politics of dog eats dog, and let's understand that, let's get into policy. Akufo-Addo has rolled out, according to him, X number of policies. Let us discuss it. Mr. Akufo-Addo, your free SHS, these are the issues with it. But if we say that, oh, Mr. Akufo-Addo, you traveled with this plane and you went here, and then it was a decision by the Air Force because some plane is not working. Another president comes, the situation arises, and then we are all over the place because we don't have a line item that is explaining how the president should behave. And that brings me to the Shatta-Wale issue. It is important for us to I was reading this book the other day, and I was reading about the 1874 Prime Minister, and somebody said, the writer said that a politician's fortune changed because the Tories came back to power and they arrested him, blah, blah, blah. This was in 1874. So I noticed that this was happening in England. It is important for us to reduce discretion of state actors and the public office holders. We have done some. The 1992 Constitution brought about when people are arrested, you have to, within 48 hours, charge them. That was a very important delineation of how discretion can be applied. Now we are all talking about and seeing all kinds of articles about bail. there has to be a clear delineation. Could you sit here and he's on bail in Yoko? Is that not ridiculous? There has to be a clear way in which we understand and delineate the bail so that the person who has the discretion of the state authority to institute the bail is working within limits. Currently, the police work within the limits of the 1992 Constitution. Can we imagine before the 1992 Constitution came, when there was no delineation of how long you can hold somebody before you charge them, what was happening in our criminal justice system? These are the important things that this generation of politicians must look at. How do politicians behave? How should they behave? If you read Lee Kuan Yew, he was paying politicians a lot of money for achieving results. That's a model that worked. People of Singapore, the opposition in Singapore, could have risen up and said that Lee Kuan Yew is paying $1 million to a minister. But Lee Kuan Yew said that, look, let me get the best and the most attractive people for Singapore to be able to move the country forward. What moves the country forward is not rhetoric. What moves the country forward is cogent thinking that brings out policy. That's what moves Singapore forward. That's what moves America forward. That's what moves Britain forward. It's not the propaganda and the policy. That's okay. We can all do that. That's fine. But what really moves the country forward is the policy thinking. That's very important. So we say that in 1957, we say that we are going to take independence to show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. Beautiful propaganda rings through our ears, inspires all of us. 68 years later, were we able to put the policies in to achieve that purpose? Singapore was able to do it. In the late 80s, the East Asian Tigers were able to do it. So it is important for this generation of very clever politicians to begin to delineate things in our system and say that this one will be done this way, this will be done that way. Then we leave the playing field of policy for discussion. And to be able to poke, MPP can poke NDC, NDC can poke MPP on policy. What are you going to achieve? This is your policy. How many people is it going to solve? How many people are taking off the streets? So we can have a real debate about our society. If we don't do that, and we keep doing these things that we've been doing since 1998 and 2008 and all of that, then we are going to have topsy-turvy. What you said you won't do, you will come to office, you will do it. Because it is like that. And the videos are there. These days, I'm going to film your convoy. And your convoy will be 30 cars. His convoy, somebody will say, oh, that day the video said, Akufo-Addo's convoy was 28. This one is 31. I mean, so my concern is that what we need to do at this generation is to delineate certain things critically, to reduce the amount of propaganda we can do with politics, okay, so that the discussion is brought within the context of policy thinking. How do we treat our doctors? How do we treat our nurses? I saw a Facebook post by one Addo over the Rich Hospital who said that, but a company like Rich Hospital, they don't have protocols for how these things are handled. We don't write these things down and say that these are the protocols for how these things are handled. When somebody comes in, this is what happens, this is what happens. If the nurses and the doctors have those protocols, it will be well established, well published for people to understand, so that very little is left to the unpredictable spectrum. Right. Very little is left to discretion, especially by those who act for the state. They have to have very little discretion. And then we leave the rest as a political question that we can discuss. It's very, very important.
Okay. Now, speaking about Shatta Wale, today's Daily Graphic reports that Shatta Wale has been released, 5 million bond, 5 million cedis bond, and also 2 sureties, and that the funds actually besieged Yoko precincts. And the story is by Emmanuel Ebu-Hoxing and Justice Agbenosi. I hope I got the pronunciation correctly. It's the revision of bail conditions coupled with the sheer force of youth support secure the release of dancehall artist Charles Ni Amamenta, known in showbiz circles as Shatta Wale, from the detention of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Yoko. Now, this was moments after scores of fans besieged the precincts of the anti-graft agency demanding the release of the dancehall artist who spent a night in the detention of Yoko in Accra after he was invited there last Wednesday to assist with investigations regarding a Lamborghini Urus he had purchased. Now, the vehicle has been found to be part of the proceeds of $4 million crime, for which one Nana Kwabena Amwa is serving in jail term in the USA. And Yoko granted Shatta Wale bail in the sum of 10 million cedis last Wednesday, with 2 sureties to be justified. Now, per the bail condition, Shatta Wale must present sureties who possess properties commensurate with the bail amount. Now, for the better part of yesterday, the popular musician could not meet the bail conditions and remained in the custody of the anti-graft agency until later in the evening when he was released on inquiry bail after his counsel prayed Yoko to vary the bail conditions. Now, the counsel for the musician, Cephas Boyo, told the Daily Graphic following his client's release that Shatta Wale was released after a prayer for Yoko to vary the 10 million cedis bail. Now, consequently, the investigative body reduced the initial bail bond from 10 million cedis with 2 sureties to be justified to 5 million cedis with 2 sureties and no justification. He said his client was expected to report to Yoko 3 times every week until investigations into the case had been completed. Now, in a live broadcast on TikTok, Shatta Wale expressed gratitude to the leadership of Yoko for the reception accorded him during the investigations. He also thanked his fans for showing up to support him. Now, the king is home. I'm quoting him. The king is home and safe, and thanks everyone for being around me in times like this because I needed you guys the most because you guys are the ones that hold me down. He said in a somber mood, you guys at Yoko have been wonderful. I came there and you took me through the rightful processes that were needed. I want to say God bless you and your family, Adom-Otchere. I thank you so much for your understanding, he stated in that video. Of course, earlier there was calls of fans, some riding motorbikes. They blocked the Independence Link, the main road leading to Yoko office, causing significant traffic congestion with some threatening to use their teeth to tear the Yoko walls and cells open if Shatta Wale was not released. Now, many fans held placards with inscriptions such as "Free Don One" or "One Don," "Leave the youth alone," and "Free Shatta Wale." Others with red flags chanting and playing the musician songs from loudspeakers mounted on stationary mini tracks they had brought along. Now, this is what the Yoko explains. This is the Yoko's part of the side of the story. Now, a statement issued by Yoko indicated that investigations was part of a larger one being conducted by the Federal Bureau of Investigations in the United States of America to unravel and recover proceeds of the said $4 million crime to be used as restitution. It says, following the request from the FBI and the U.S. Justice Department for Yoko to track the vehicle and conduct local investigations in respect of uncovering possible, conspirators, possible conspirators in Ghana, Yoko began looking for the vehicle until it was identified and seized in or around May this year in the possession of one Charles Nyama Mensah. Now, Yoko explained that Shatta Wale arrived at his office at 3 p.m. but was interrogated from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., so 4 hours. His lawyer got to the premises later, and the musician had insisted that he would not cooperate until his lawyer arrived. Now, according to Yoko, during the investigation, Shatta Wale was unable to identify where or from whom he purchased the vehicle, with a claim that he bought it, and the story is on. I'm going to end with the last paragraph on page 26. Page 26, this part of the story is extremely important so that it would enrich the conversation, I believe. So, the streets. Now, so far, Charles Nyama Mensah has been unable to identify the person from who he purchased the said Lamborghini Urus vehicle, except to say that he purchased it from the street. He said he purchased it from the street. And from someone possibly called Zach, who may have contacted him on WhatsApp, but whose identity he does not know, and whose contact he has thrown away, and that's according to the statements. Kojo?
My brother, thank you very much once again. But before I go, let me address something. Paul, you see, yes, sir. I listened to you carefully, and you were talking about rhetoric. Rhetoric. Yeah. There has never been a government in this country that has employed the use of rhetorics more than the Akufo-Addo government.
Okay.
You spoke about STEM. You know what STEM is?
Yeah. Science,
technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Before Akufo-Addo came, nobody had done science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
No, not as STEM, but you did science.
No, I'm saying that it is the rhetoric that I'm talking about. Remember planting for food and jobs?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Planting for food and jobs was a Canadian initiative that President Mahama left before he left office in 2017. When the Akufo-Addo government, they renamed it. Today, have we planted anything?
What was the name JM gave to it?
Paul, we didn't need to give it a name. That is the rhetoric I'm talking about. We didn't need to give
was
it.
There.
It was there. It was
But
a
it wasn't
Canadian.
named.
Yes, it was a Canadian initiative to improve the agricultural sector. As soon as the MPP came, they gave it a name and started using it for propaganda purposes. Today, did we even plant a finger of banana? Where's the money? TVET. Samuel Kujeto was in charge of TVET when he was Deputy Minister of Education. And yet, we are being told...
No, free TVET. Not that there was no TVET. TVET is Rollins. That is very old.
Paul, government exists in a continuum.
Absolutely.
Right? That is the reason why when you talk about rhetoric, point it in the right direction.
No, boss, I'm
Because
not saying hold on.
You spoke because I'm trying to highlight your communication was headed in a certain direction.
Yes.
That
propaganda.
No, it wasn't propaganda. You were targeting the NDC administration.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
No, hold on. It was subtle, very subtle.
Oh, I wasn't.
I have known you for a very long time.
No, I wasn't at all.
It was a subtle jab.
Okay.
That
there's too much rhetoric.
Yes, rhetoric. And I'm saying that the rhetoric
was more
that greeted us under the Kufuor regime was bewildering. They took our savings and called it DDEP. In the history of this country, when has a finance minister gone and accrued debt, and they came back and told us that they were taking our savings to pay for the debt?
I think that was very unfortunate, Kojo. I think that was terrible.
No, hold on.
But also in the history of this country. Okay, finish. You finish.
You see,
you finish.
When you say that was terrible,
it was very bad.
It was beyond terrible.
Yeah, it was beyond terrible, yes. But
because people, Paul, the life expectancy of a Ghanaian man is 65 years. The life expectancy of a Ghanaian woman is 67 years. So a teacher who has retired and is hoping to use her pension to maybe start a container shop, a policeman who has retired trying to do same, maybe start some transport business, right? A fireman who has retired was told that Kenofureta has gone and gambled with your pension, so you can come and collect it when you are in your 80s. Loosely translated, it means go and die, because not many of them will get there. Given that even at those ages, itinerant illnesses like hypertension, most people by that age are hypertensive. They have no money to go and buy their drugs. Once again, let me repeat for emphasis. They took our savings and gave it to a name, DDEP. Right? We got to a point where the president of this republic came and told us that there will be no haircuts. 2 weeks later, the haircuts came. 2 weeks later, after President, hold on, okay. After Kufuor came out and told us that there will be no haircuts, the haircuts were applied. You know why he did that? He was asked to do that so that there won't be a run on the banks. When a former Chief Justice takes her chair and goes to sit at the finance ministry and asks for her pension, you should know that assembly is critical. Many of us, and if you know anything about economics, many of us recognize saving in government bonds as safe. Safe. Because in fact, it is called risk-free investing. And all of a sudden, you are told But the finance minister, that when you are going to invest, read the small print. Right? That's what Amin Adam told us from London. So, you see, when we talk about, rhetoric, policy, propaganda, this, that, and we should delineate what this person can do and what that person cannot do.
What politicians can do.
How can you delineate when a president puts a chair in an SUV and travels with it behind him? Is that policy? Is that policy? And then when people get upset, you are saying, oh, no, let's not do that, let's not do this, let's not do that. Let me assure you, and I say it categorically here and now, President Mahama is not traveling with the kinds of convoys that Akufo-Addo travels.
Oh, there's a video.
There are videos of many things.
Video of President Mahama. He was saying it.
There are videos of many things. And you see, Paul,
so the person was counting the cars.
The person was counting. That's mischief.
But that's what they're saying.
Paul,
I like the word you used.
Paul,
that's the same mischief that was done. And that's why I say that let's agree on this table. How many cars did the president use? 5 or 6.
Paul,
then we agree.
Paul, you see?
Yes. It's mischief.
Paul,
and they all do it.
Paul, at a point in time in your life, you were a fixture in President Mahama's house. So you know him as well as I am.
But that's the point I'm coming
to. Please.
But that's the point. You're making a very good point.
Listen.
So it's not about the leader. It's about the system. That's the point I'm coming to.
It's not about the system.
It's about the system.
President Mahama will never allow anybody to put a chair in an SUV and follow him.
No, I'm not saying chair.
That's the leader.
The recent cars had 30.
President
and I can tell you that President Mahama may not have known. You see, it's important we do these things. You are now bringing me to the character of the personality. That's very interesting.
When you have a chair following you in an SUV, you know.
Yes, if you have I don't support a chair following an SUV. But if
when
you
go and sleep, hold on. When you go and sleep in the Prince Alexander suite in Claridge's Hotel for £22,000 a night, you know.
Do other presidents sleep in Claridge's Hotel?
Who? Tell me who did that.
Oh, should we talk about where our president sleep?
No.
We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. These are the things we shouldn't do.
Paul,
because you see, it's not the president that booked the hotel.
You know why, Paul?
It's the state apparatus
but the president should be important. Paul,
these are the things.
The president should be interested in how the taxpayers' money is spent. That is why we voted him into office.
Absolutely. But now let's come to the question of the DEP that you were raising, which is a very important question.
Please don't make any excuses for
I'm not making
excuses.
Too many people are suffering. I agree with you.
And the person who instituted the DDEP, somebody came to sit on your show and said that you shouldn't come back to Ghana to face what we all faced.
You shouldn't come to Ghana. I don't understand what you're talking about. Who came on my show?
Oh, didn't Kofi Mental come on your show and say that?
Kofi Mental has not been on my show. Maybe you mean Newsfile.
Whatever it was.
Yes.
He said that if he were Ken Ofori-Atta, he wouldn't come to Ghana.
That was a Newsfile.
That was on Newsfile. Sorry, I apologize.
Yes.
For those of us who didn't run away, who were terrorized from here to high heaven, you people got a video. I don't know how you got that video of me being arrested when I traveled and came back, and he played it.
I don't get your point.
Why isn't he here to answer the question?
He's been red alerted.
Red alerted for what?
Hasn't OSP?
I'm saying that Paul
Ken is not here apparently because he's
recovering
from some.
I like the word you use. I like the word you use. Apparently.
No, apparently because I don't know the facts.
Paul,
I don't know the facts, but I know that he is due to come.
You don't know that. You don't know the
facts of the
sick
hospital and all that.
Paul,
I don't know that.
I'm saying that. You see. You have spoken about many things, about policy, about this. I'm asking what are the questions I laid out.
So let me answer them.
Very succinctly.
Yeah, let me answer them. Which one?
That you can have any policy you want. But if you have people with no character, the policy doesn't get anywhere.
So let me answer that.
Let me answer
that. Hold on, let me answer that. You are an engineer.
COVID,
you understand this better than me.
Paul, let me finish.
You have to do the policy such that there is no discretion, or you reduce the discretion. President Akufo-Addo, does he tell himself how much he should be paid? It is decided. It is predetermined. So he comes into office, he takes the president's salary. The salary you are taking now is predetermined before you got there.
During COVID,
yes,
we had an incident where the health minister broke the law. Right? Broke the law. He was cited by his own colleagues in parliament.
You refer to Adom-Otchere?
I don't even need to mention it.
I want to remember which law he broke so that we can deal with it.
Did he not give out a contract without asking for permission for parliament?
Yeah, the Sputnik?
Yes.
Yes.
What did the president do? He went to his constituency.
Whose constituency?
Adom-Otchere's constituency. And in his speech he said, parliament, and he thought it was a joke.
No, but could you,
He didn't act on it. He thought it was a joke.
How did he break the law? The law, Parliament is the law-making organization.
Paul,
so somebody breaks the law in Parliament.
Paul, I
understand
expected the president to act after he had heard that Adom-Otchere had broken the law, because he knew he had broken the law. And why
What
I knew,
law did he break?
if you give out a contract to supply COVID medicines, you can Google it without the express permission of Parliament.
Oh, I think you've forgotten that during COVID there was a suspension of laws. There was an emergency situation created.
I think
you've forgotten about
No, I haven't forgotten.
All the contracts that were run under COVID, they were run under that emergency.
So during COVID,
you know that.
so during COVID, we lost our mind. You see,
No,
you are indicting the very. You are
no,
indicting.
you can't say that. The 1992 Constitution. No.
Paul,
The 1992
you are
Constitution.
indicting your own argument.
No, the 92 Constitution creates instances
Paul,
where you can suspend the law of a country, and that was applied.
Our laws
It was
were not
published.
suspended.
It was
Paul,
published.
Our laws were not
published.
Paul, our laws were not suspended.
And that
during
COVID,
COVID,
it was. That's why you and I couldn't move.
During COVID,
That's why you couldn't move.
But the law for you to consult Parliament when you were procuring goods was not suspended.
I submit to you that it was. And that is why Adom-Otchere cannot be punished even today.
Who said he cannot be punished?
So they should punish him.
Oh, just wait. It's time. Paul, during COVID, if an armed robber came to your house, the fact that it was COVID, the law was not suspended.
The law that suspends also delineates, back to my word, it delineates what is suspended and what is not suspended.
You are using
I bring the 1992 Constitution, let me show
you. Are using
Let's be clear on these things.
A lot of English. I went to Addo-Otchere school, you went to present.
No, your English is better. Yes, I get it. I get it, but we have to be honest and clear.
Let's stop obfuscating and fudging. You are talking about.
There's a constitutional provision. We are a country of laws.
The constitutional provision. So if the constitutional provision
allows that,
no, it is not true.
COVID was an emergency situation.
Yes,
why couldn't you move?
Paul,
you should have been moving.
It is not the same. So why did Adom-Otchere's own colleagues in Parliament cite him for criminality?
What did they say? Where's the Hansard?
They say, read it.
So let me do this. Gentlemen, let me do this.
Please do that. Because the 1992 Constitution has ways in which the President of Ghana is able to suspend the operation of certain laws. And the President of Ghana took advantage of the COVID, came to Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, announced to the public the regime that we are under within the COVID. That regime allowed him to impose restrictions on us. It allowed him to impose restrictions on certain areas.
Suspend the procurement laws. Don't go there.
But you have to suspend the procurement laws, because if you are in a health position and you need to bring in vaccines immediately, and you are now going to go through a COVID process, and Ghanaians are dying. Ghanaians are dying.
If you remember, the vaccines that were given to us were given to us under a protocol.
Just a second. This will settle it. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to know whether Adom-Otchere was wrong or right.
Yes.
With the decision he took.
The Parliament was wrong?
Yes. You recall that when the matter came up, there was a committee that was set up to look into the issue.
What did the committee say?
Now, let me read to you what the committee says, and I think that will settle it.
Okay.
Now it says, after over 3 weeks of work, the 9-member ad hoc committee constituted by Parliament to investigate circumstances surrounding the botched Sputnik V vaccine procurement deal submitted its report, and this is in 2021, to the House on Friday, August 6, 2021. The committee, in its work, engaged with the Minister of Health, Adom-Otchere, officials from the Bank of Ghana, and the Ministry of Finance, among others. Now, a 29-page report produced by the committee came out with a number of findings and recommendations, key amongst them being: 1, this is important, Health Ministry did not receive cabinet approval of the deal. All right. 2, Health Ministry breached the Constitution by not seeking parliamentary approval for the agreement with the private office of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Dalmouk Al Maktoum. 3, Health Ministry did not seek approval from the board of PPA before signing the agreement. 4, PPA has not concluded its investigations into the matter. 5,
PPA has not concluded.
Yes, PPA has not concluded its investigations into
This
the matter.
2021.
Yes, 2021.
Okay.
And then 5, Health Ministry used middlemen, that's Office of His Highness Al Maktoum and SL Global, for the purchase and distribution of the vaccine. 6, Health Ministry agreed at $19 per dose with Al Maktoum, although ex-factory price of the vaccine was $10. All right. 7, Ghana paid 2.85 million US dollars, equivalent at the time 16 million cedis, which is 50% of total cost in advance. Messrs. Al Maktoum, although minister said he had no knowledge of such.
Ministers deny knowledge.
Yes, he says yes, he doesn't know that. 8,
Unbelievable.
yes, Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, asked to take steps to recover $2.8 million already paid to Sheikh Al Maktoum.
Which they did.
Right.
They did.
Now,
You
it
know
says,
that, they did.
I don't have that. I don't have that.
They recovered the money.
You know something?
No.
A lot of the things that Atta used to was recovered. Is it still not in jail?
Mami, now, a debate on the report ended without a decision to adopt or reject it. The minority in parliament...
Say that again. That's
a
the legal position.
A debate on the
debate
report
by the Legislative Assembly.
Ended without a decision to adopt or reject
A
it.
debate by the Legislative Assembly ended without a decision to adopt. Alban Bagbe was speaker.
Just a minute.
The parliament was 50-50.
Yes, a minute.
Bagbe was a speaker.
Let me finish. It says that the minority in parliament has called on President Nana Akufo-Addo to immediately dismiss the Minister of Health. Kweku Agyeman is saying he's not fit to be in the office. They argue that he violated the 1992 Constitution and his oath of office by trying to procure vaccines through middlemen without recourse to Parliament or Cabinet. And I quote them, "It is beyond any reasonable doubt that the minister betrayed his oath of office and for that matter, and he also failed to uphold the Constitution and the laws of our country. I must say that a minister should be sanctioned. He must be removed by the president.
This Ato Forsen speaking.
Yes, he's not fit to occupy the office of the Minister of State and must therefore be removed from office henceforth.
Yes.
Failing which, this House must pass a vote of censure on the minister. Now, they also took the minister on over his claim that that no payment was made in the deal when the committee's finding pointed to the fact that money was actually paid. Right? Good. But the minority leader...
Before you go for... No, hold on.
It's very interesting.
No, I'm just about to...
You are reading the minority view.
Okay.
But the minority view you are reading, you have to let viewers know that the thing you are reading is the minority view. That's very important. It's the minority view.
But the majority leader, H.M. Samusu, while addressing the press, said the minister's use of the caveat to the best of his knowledge, and that he was not aware of any payment, absolves him of any offense of lying.
So you have read the view of the majority and the minority. The parliament itself doesn't have a view. The United Parliament.
Let me listen to Kojo.
You were trying to create an impression that the procurement laws of this country were suspended during COVID.
But the part he read bear me out.
No,
what he read bears me out.
Paul.
The PPA is investigating.
Paul.
Who talks about procurement breaches?
No, Paul, let's
Okay.
Yes, let's not.
Moro read clearly that the committee said that the minister breached procurement law. And what you forget is that we watched the proceedings live.
Yeah.
The minister himself said that he wasn't thinking well at the time.
That's in relation to something else.
No.
Okay.
What was it?
Fair enough, Kojo. Fair enough.
Paul.
Okay, finish.
You are being disruptive.
Yeah, I beg you.
The minister
You have time to speak.
The minister himself said that he wasn't thinking straight at the time.
Yeah.
And it is for that reason that President Akufo-Addo went to his constituency in Sunyani and said, "Yeah, Papa and Kaka, now I confused."
That's political talk.
No,
you can't use that.
It is not
you
political
can't use
talk.
All over the world,
let
talk
him
on
know.
rally floor cannot be used.
No, Paul, let him know.
Paul, I've known you for 25 years. You have an excuse for everything.
Maybe more.
Maybe you have an excuse for everything, so don't worry.
Maybe. No, but we have to say that political talk is political talk.
Paul, you're being a bit disruptive, Paul. Sorry.
Yeah.
When
he finishes, I'll come to the
If I say that this your jacket is green, you can try convincing the listening public that it is white. I've known you for 25 years. What I'm saying is very simple. I am saying that when it comes to doing the wrong things, whether there's policy or law or whatever there is, the SOS while the Akufo-Addo government takes the biscuit. And Paul,
Yes, sir.
one of the things that I have a problem with you on is that you have a bully pulpit that most of us don't have.
What's a bully pulpit?
A bully pulpit is you have means You have a TV program that you've had for over 20 years. And most of the time...
That TV program is for everyone, it's not for me.
No, I said...
You are invited. It's
no,
for everyone.
I watch, but of course I will. Don't I text you doing a program?
You do. So, and I read your text.
And I'm saying that,
bully
yes,
pulpit.
no, a bully pulpit is a term for somebody who has means to reach an audience.
Yeah, without other people.
You can... No. It means you have the means to reach people. That's what a bully pulpit is.
These days, everyone does have on social media, please.
No, but you have had that consistently for a while, so people actually sit and wait for Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. to watch you.
Yes,
and most of the time,
grateful, yeah.
Yes, and so most of the time during the last MPP administration, you used it as a monologue to sanitize everything they did. You even sanitize Cecilia Dapa.
Oh, are we talking about Cecilia Dapa this morning?
No, I'm saying you even.
But I thought the results are clear.
What result? What? Don't talk about the FBI.
That's what we were told.
Paul,
we are not the investigators.
Paul,
the people who are investigating told us.
Paul.
Yes.
When you find over $6 million in a minister's house, it is a problem. I don't care what.
We don't know that it's 6 million. We thought it's 1 million.
If you find
but we thought, that's what they said. They said 1 million. The report said 1 million.
Various currencies. And then she comes to tell you.
In court.
And then they come and tell you.
Police are prosecuting on 1 million.
Paulie. No, it's 6 million. And then they come and tell you that it was bequeathed to her by her brother who was a shoemaker. Seriously? It will be quiet there in engineering school.
I don't understand. You are giving me a lot of information. You said 6 million.
The information that you know, but you are not interested.
No, he's prosecuting for 1 million.
Paul, 1 million, 6 million, potato.
1 million is not the same as 6 million, boss. Boss, 1 million is not the same as 6 million.
Paul, I put it to you, and I am telling you that there is no shoemaker this side of the Sahara who can bequeath $1 million to their sister who is a minister. You see, these are the sort of things that we should be addressing in this country. We make an excuse for everything. We make an excuse.
I'm very confused. Okay, when you finish.
Don't be confused.
Because I heard something that some people say that Cecilia Dapa, there's no evidence against her. This is just coming in recently, this week. Then you say she had 6 million.
There's no evidence
against her involved.
There is no evidence against her. When the matter happened, the first thing that the president of this republic did was to write her a love letter saying that she's sure that she will be exonerated.
That's an expectation of a president. Is that
how does a president? So if you do that, are you not prejudicing the people who are going to investigate?
Prejudicing FBI from America?
What has
but I said this week we were told.
Paul, they didn't find the money in America.
But
they found
who got FBI in?
I said they didn't find the money in America. They found it here.
So why was FBI in?
I have absolutely no idea.
But FBI don't come in just like that. They are invited to come in.
Paul.
Yes,
the money was not found in America.
So why is FBI in?
Paul, the FBI have absolutely no jurisdiction in the shores of Ghana.
So
I am saying
why are we being told that FBI didn't find anything?
Paul,
why are we being told?
Paul, was the money found in her house?
Yes, she reported it to the police.
Okay.
She reported it. I didn't find it. She reported it.
Did she say that the money was bequeathed to her by a shoemaker brother?
It's in the police document. I don't know what she said. The matter is in court.
I'm telling you what she said.
You know. Okay, what did she say?
She said that the money belonged to her brother who's a shoemaker.
Did she say that to the court? Because you
said it's in the document. If it's in the document, then where is it?
No, she's in court being prosecuted for the loss of her money. So if you say it's 6 million, FBI shouldn't have come in.
Right here. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Kojo is my big brother. I need to learn from you.
Right here, you have a classic illustration of what I'm talking about.
Right.
You see, in a certain past, right? And this is no reference to you.
Right.
Nazism was defended. Apartheid was defended. Right? You had Roland Friesland in the 1940s defending everything the Nazi Party did. We have had several iterations of things like that. That has gone on.
Posterity will deal with it.
Unfortunately, the victims of those kinds of things never get the justice they deserve after the fact. You understand what I'm saying?
The victims of what?
So, Paul.
Yes, please.
I would like you.
Yes, sir.
You say I'm your big brother. Let me give you advice.
Yes, please.
I would like you to have a double-edged sword on Good Evening Ghana.
What does that mean?
Double-edged sword.
Oh, yeah.
And let us see. Let us see, Paul. Paul. I said, let us see objectivity, not a monologue in defense of sometimes what is completely indefensible. You called.
I don't want to debate that. The people who watch should debate it. But I can answer your questions.
You called Paul.
But I don't want to debate that.
You can answer every question. I've said I've known you for 25. You can answer any question.
No, I don't want to debate what I do on Good Evening, whether it's good or bad. The people will determine that.
You talked about policy.
Yes,
you talked about rhetoric. I
talked about reducing rhetoric and let's be critical of policy.
You talked about forward movement.
Yes.
Forward movement
so we can build
begins with people like you who have influence. I see young people reading your text.
Yes.
I see a lot of people watch your show.
Okay, so the advice is that we should change the format of Good Evening.
No, don't change the format.
What should we do?
Don't go and call Musa Dankwa names.
I have apologized for that.
You should also apologize on many of the other things that you have said.
As and when they come up, as human beings, we will apologize.
What else
do you want me to apologize
for? One
for?
of the things I want you to apologize for.
Yes, please.
Is defending economic policies that have resulted in people losing their savings.
I lost my savings too. I don't know when I defended an economic policy, but what I know is that you made the point about the DDEP. My family members lost money. I know people who lost money. It affected everybody. It was terrible. I do not know.
Before you come in,
the call you are making.
You ask the question. Let me.
Is he on the floor?
Please finish. Let me just address the Shatawale matter so that Paul can go on.
Yes. Okay. But before you go to the Shatawale
matter, hold on.
No, that's okay.
Hold on.
That's fine.
I have a piece of advice.
Yes.
For Shatawale. Very short, succinct, and very simple.
Right.
Shatta, most of us listen to your music. We are proud of you. We are proud of where you came to and where you have gotten to. One of the proudest moments I can recall was when I heard that you were recording a song with Beyonce. I thought that was a moment of emancipation for many people like you, and an example for young people in how to be persistent to achieve. So for your own sake, don't get involved in a criminal enterprise, racketeering, that can result in you being extradited to the United States to face justice. That's my advice to him. You have a following. Yesterday we saw the following. We are seeing the following. That applies insofar as we are here.
Right.
When some of us were taken to Yoko, I didn't have any following. My family in Latte and the Cropon didn't even know. Several times we were taken there, nobody knew. But if you get to the point where the FBI want to extradite you to the States because you are a suspect in racketeering, your fans cannot get a visa to follow you there. Right? Salam Mustafa cannot follow you, but he will not follow you there. Shatawale, you have achieved so much without driving a Lamborghini. For the sake of all that you have done, You don't need it to improve your brand. You're already there. People like you, Stoneboy, and others have shown what it means to be persistent and believe in what you're doing. Toward that same line, you don't need a Lamborghini to write another song that becomes a hit. As an NDC person, Mahama paper lives in my mind.
Okay.
Don't get to the point where you have bought stolen goods and when you actually say you don't know who sold it to you. You see, Moro,
Okay.
this stolen car business that thrives in Ghana, there are a lot of dynamics to what they do, including people amending bills of lading and changing chassis numbers when the vehicles land.
Wow.
Claiming that they are being transshipped to Burkina Faso and taking it out and they can't, nothing else, it doesn't see the light of day. But let's spare a thought for the people who actually own what it is that has been stolen. Some people say, oh, don't worry, insurance will pay. But that's not the point. So, my plea to Shatta Wale is that, my brother, don't go where you are going. And don't let the people outside fool you. Because if you are indicted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, we have a mutual legal agreement with them. They will come to court. They will extradite you.
Okay.
Some people have been extradited. We know. Dada Joe and Co, they are gone. So let's advise some of these, our superstars, that they don't need the itinerant exposure and the notoriety of some of these things. That is racketeering. There are laws against racketeering everywhere in the world. Like I said, we have mutual legal agreements with several countries where we extradite criminals back to the countries of commission. Please, don't get involved in that, because I want to go on hearing hit after hit after hit after hit. And I'm happy that he himself has recorded a message talking about the professionalism of the of Yoko and what have you and what have you. Okay. Even us, non-entities, we got professionalism from Yoko.
Okay. All right. So Paul.
About the Shatta Wale.
We have to take a short break. When we come back.
Okay. When we come back, I can talk about Shatta Wale. Yeah.
You've spoken about Shatta Wale already.
No, I need to say.
But your very good friend Musa Danko has some new posts.
Maybe I should just do it before we go on the break. I think everything Kojo said, I agree with him. The advice he gives to Shatta Wale, he's exposed, so he probably knows what he's talking about. But the point is that I want to make, it comes back to the point I was making earlier. Those who have the power of state, we should limit the level of their discretion. When Shatta Wale is going for an interview with Yoko, or when Kojo Tumboafo is going for an interview with Yoko must be limited in what kind of bail conditions they can give, and it must be predetermined, and people already know. Yoko shouldn't have the discretion at 9 p.m. after interviewing him for 4 hours that what kind of bail do we give him. The courts can have that discretion. Parliament can pass a certain system of investigative agencies. All of these things that Yoko is publishing about what Shatta Wale said about where he got the car is really unfair to him. Because if we go to court, all of that may not matter. Shatta Wale can change his statement. The Yoko should not be telling us, the general public, and I don't think that international investigative agencies do that. I don't know, but I don't think even legally is fair to the person that you are investigating. Come out and tell us that, oh, this is what he said. Clearly, you are guiding the people's mind into a certain conclusion against the person you have arrested, over whom you have state power, because that state power belongs to everyone. So the person who is exercising the state power must be limited in the discretion he can express. There are some of the things we can leave the next generation with. That in this 8th or 9th parliament arrangement, there has to be a way in which this bail situation is managed. Whether it's Yoko, whether it's other state institutions, they must, as Shatta Wale is going there, there must be a predetermined way in which whether he can get a self-recognizance bill because of who he is, it must be categorized. Not left to Yoko's discretion. They look at him, they look at his hairstyle, they look at his chain and decide that you are going to have 10 million bail. Then in 2-3 hours, they review it to 5 million bail. That's the path that we need to deal with.
Okay.
Because that is a state institution. It's going to outlive all of us. Right. But the occupants of the state institutions will be different. And it's very dangerous to allow the disposition of the occupant of a political office or a state office to have his disposition expressed in the way he does his work. That's very dangerous. Okay. And that's why we should have these things. Right. You don't have to come and publish this is what he said. Shatta Wale hasn't said anything. We don't know. If he also comes to say, I didn't write that, what do we do? It's against him. It's a state institution. It shouldn't be fighting against the citizen using discretion and things that cannot hold out in court.
Okay.
Oh,
so we'll take a short break.
To be a law student.
Sorry, we'll take it.
Reviewing bail conditions
is what lawyers are there for.
Yes.
So you can legislate.
Review. No,
you can legislate.
How can you legislate? You see,
you've legislated 48 hours.
Yes, but
you can legislate bail conditions.
But crimes are not the same.
Yes, so you can legislate.
So if you have gone and
at some point we said some places are not bailable. You remember?
Paul,
they said,
but Paul, you are obfuscating the point.
I'm not.
If somebody has gone and stolen a Fiat,
yes,
Cinquecento, it's not the same as if somebody has stolen a Lamborghini. So the bail conditions will be different.
Yes, but you can legislate that. You can legislate that.
Oh, it is
at 29 and 30 we were passing the you and I were not born.
Paul, there is legislation that allows you to modify the conditions of bail. You are not talking about
that legislation should be strengthened.
You want it to be
reduce the discretion.
Re-legislated.
No, not reduce the discretion.
For what?
We need to reduce the discretion of state actors. It's very important. Why are you still on bail? Does it make sense that you are still on bail?
Let's do this.
Stop talking about
let's take this short break. We'll be right back. You're watching Good Morning Ghana.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo kendini ehu behia semecha sapapadia to ama me manfo Kale Charcoal's natural ingredients eno bome se ho ban e ma ne sren ne sanso mama hotoso e wo bedwam.
Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kale Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Not phone. No, what we have here, I don't think it's enough. Yeah, enough.
So you're live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Now, we have here in the studio Mr. Paul Adom-Otchere, who is a journalist and also here, the host of Good Evening Ghana on Metro Television. He's also the former board chair of Ghana Airport Company Limited. Also here is Kojochum Wafu. He's an NDC stalwart, also with the Financial Intelligence Center as the acting CEO. Now, let's do this quickly. There's quite a number of messages that have come through on the issues that we raised, and then we'll go to the Musa Dankwa, who's a very good friend with Paul Adom-Otchere. Now they're very good friends. Yes, yes. He has new polls
from a very senior law enforcement officer.
Okay.
Paul, says which laws were suspended. The laws on public procurement were not suspended because they make provision for procurement in the face of an emergency. Okay. The constitutional requirements of parliamentary approval for international contracts were not suspended.
Okay.
So when you come out...
No, but that's somebody's opinion.
It's not somebody's opinion.
The thing that Moro read, the PPA is yet to come out.
It's the
PPA that can tell us whether their rules have been breached or not.
It is not the PPA. The parliament...
But parliament could not agree on it. It's clear.
How could parliament agree on it?
Document.
Paul,
the document says parliament could not agree on it.
Governing procurement were not suspended. That's all that you need to admit.
No, but whose opinion is that?
It is not an opinion.
What are you talking about? So which laws were suspended? Show me. Show me.
Which laws were suspended?
Yes, you said procurement was not suspended. Which ones were suspended?
You're the one who's telling us every law was
suspended. I am telling you that there's a provision in the 1992 Constitution that allows the president, when there's an emergency, to suspend laws. You say that public procurement was not suspended. Which ones were suspended under COVID?
The president cannot. But you are the one who's telling us every law was suspended. Even common sense was suspended.
No, but I'm saying that if you read the constitutional provision, I've asked for it, bring it. If you read the constitutional provision, it shows under what conditions the president can do that, which laws he can suspend, which ones he cannot suspend, movement of people.
Your
movement of people is a fundamental human right. It's guaranteed in chapter 5. That one was suspended. So how much more less a procurement law?
If movement was suspended,
that is not fundamental.
It didn't suspend common sense. It didn't suspend the
Nobody says it suspended common sense. I'm saying that there are fundamental rules that were suspended.
Because the president went to parliament under a certificate of emergency and asked for certain laws to be suspended.
Which are the certain?
It means procurement was suspended.
I'm suggesting to you that it's for that reason that PPA hasn't come out.
38
PPA hasn't come out.
It is for that reason that $38 million was distributed among MPP party folk.
When?
Because laws were suspended.
I don't know that.
You will never know.
I don't know that.
Paul, you choose
$38 million was distributed
you choose what you know.
Yeah, but tell us.
If the MPP executives who were telling us that lady who was a parliamentary candidate in Tamale Central, who said that she was giving 150,000 CDs to spend on the election from COVID funds. One thing.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
I don't know this one.
You have selective. Paul, you have selective hearing. She's called Felicia Tete. You have selective hearing.
She was in the law. I don't have selective hearing. We are with the laws of Ghana.
I said
you read somebody
and
says the person is an important security person.
Are you listen?
And that he says that the laws of Ghana.
I said a law enforcement officer.
A law enforcement officer.
I said
should I read a text from you from a judge?
Listen.
Should I read a text from a judge?
Read it. That the judge told you. The judge told you that procurement laws were suspended.
I'm saying that you cannot bring one person's opinion. Take the constitution.
It is not an opinion.
Bring the 1992 constitution. Bring the parliamentary hazard of what was suspended. Here you are. You can't tell us what was suspended. But you are sure procurement was suspended.
Paul, I cited a parliamentary committee that was set up. A parliamentary committee at which the particular minister sat and said he was confused.
Whose results bear me out? It bears me out.
And you are
the parliamentary report says that PPA did not issue an opinion, and they are yet to issue an opinion. The Public Procurement Authority is the most important authority saddled with the view whether there's been a procurement breach or not. That PPA did not say there was a procurement breach. That's the parliamentary report. That is Parliament's report.
Let's debate it ad infinitum. What you read. Read it again because Paul.
You have to read it again. And read the part where you said PPA have not come out with a conclusion. And read the part where you said that Parliament was not able to conclude. And then you read the minority opinion and the majority opinion. Speaker Bagbe was in the chair.
I don't want us.
It's in the report. I didn't know he read it.
What Paul is telling you is that the PPA has superiority over committees of Parliament.
No, when it comes to PPA opinion.
I said. Why did the minister
determine that there was a PPA breach without PPA itself?
Why did the minister say he was confused? The laws have been suspended.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he's the director of communications of the NDC. He says, unfortunately, my brother Paul doesn't appreciate the point of discretion. He says, even when there are regulations or law, there is still discretion in deciding the application and enforcement.
I'm saying reduce the discretion.
Hold on. Let me
I get the discretion. Reduce it.
Let me read it.
It's in all the books.
Let me read it.
No, we are political
that's why
science
it's
all the books.
Hold on.
Reduce the discretion.
Hang on a minute. It says that's why Masa Kojocho Boafo's point about the centrality of character in leadership is important.
That's dangerous. Abraham Lincoln said that's very dangerous to leave leadership to the character of an individual.
Yes,
it's very dangerous.
Let me finish. I'm reading.
Abraham Lincoln said that.
I am bringing in the public.
Tell Papa Kaka Samoa, I love him, that Abraham Lincoln's view of the matter. Abraham Lincoln, he wrote a book entitled A Team of Rivals. Abraham Lincoln's A Team of Rivals. Abraham Lincoln, one of the famous presidents of America, advised that don't leave it to the character of an individual. Let the system shape the individual. That is so dangerous in a democracy,
so says,
to leave it to his goodness.
So
that he's a good man or he's a bad man.
Let me finish the message.
No way.
He says, so still with Kaka Samoa, he says, a person without character can abuse both law and discretion. The people of Ghana have experienced this not too long ago. Good morning, sir. Best regards. It says,
thank you, Kaka Sama. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's exactly the point.
But you cannot rely on people's disposition.
Let me finish with that. Let me finish the message.
So we are one of the things. We are all fallible.
Let me finish the message.
No. Hold on.
Our viewers. This is time for our viewers to express their opinion. I beg you. We've been talking for almost 2 hours. Let's move on.
Is he around?
I don't know whether he's around.
Is he around? Do you know where Kaka Sama is?
So is this more? This is some of
if he's not around, we did.
So Brother Albert should know that an overwhelming endorsement of the polls is not necessarily a sign of popularity or affection for a candidate. More often than not, it reflects the frustrations of the present and the hopes for the future that drives our support. Yet, when those hopes turn into illusions through non-performance, i.e. a coup mentality, the revocation of appointments of innocent Ghanaians and the culture of silence, state-sponsored galamsey, and the persecution of opponents we are witnessing today with worse yet to come, the same populace that once smiled upon a leader would soon frown upon them. Sam O'Brien Wabbing, and he says, Madame Silada did nothing wrong. She prevailed upon the incompetent OSP in a court of competent jurisdiction. And Brother Albert is in your studio with 20,000 in his wallet. We don't know that for a fact.
Albert?
I don't know. I think we'll talk about you, Paul.
He calls me Albert?
That's what he calls himself, Brown Wabbing. Now, let me read this.
What did Brian say?
He says Paul has some $20,000, so I don't know what he means by that.
I'm not sure I'm the Brother Albert is referring to.
Okay. All right, so say good morning, Moro. A bully pulpit is a so Makojo
he was explaining bully pulpit, okay.
A bully pulpit is a powerful platform for influencing public opinion. Pacho. Let me bring it. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Part of Paul's obfuscation. Abraham Lincoln didn't write any book.
Okay, maybe. So a bully
pulpit. A team of rivals.
Who wrote a team of rivals?
Oh,
it was not written by
let me finish this.
It was written by
a bully
Keynes.
pulpit is a powerful platform for influencing public opinion, shaping policy.
It was
and
written by Doris Kearns Goodwin. It
was
was
about Abraham Lincoln.
But you said Abraham Lincoln.
No, I take that. It's about Abraham Lincoln's government.
Let me finish.
I like what you are doing. I love you. It's about Abraham Lincoln's government.
Oh my God. Paul, let me finish.
Lincoln did not write
right. So fact.
A team of rivals. The book A Team of Rivals is about Abraham Lincoln's government.
If you have read it, why are you saying Paul Abraham Lincoln wrote the book?
I read so many books.
So,
I apologize.
And you don't know who the author is.
There are too many of them.
Let me read
You don't know who the author is.
But the story is about Abraham Lincoln.
Let me finish the message.
But you googled it. It's a story not about Abraham Lincoln. I've just googled it.
Doris Kearns Goodwin is an American historian. She wrote that book. When you were talking,
yes, she's a historian. Yes,
I
she wrote about Abraham
finish.
Lincoln. But that doesn't take away the point. It doesn't take away the point at all.
Listen, Doris Kearns Goodwin.
Then you don't leave discretion. You don't leave governance to the goodness of the man.
Oh, but she doesn't live in Ghana.
What are we doing in Ghana in democracy that's original to Ghana? What are we doing in Ghana in democracy that's original to Ghana?
At this point,
everything we do is not original to Ghana. It's democracy we borrowed.
At this point in our contemporary present, Donald Trump is exercising discretion that has never been seen in the history of America.
But that is why you have.
Who has stopped him?
But that is why it has become topical in America.
Why has it become topical? Didn't the people vote for him again?
What do you mean by vote for him again?
I said they voted for him again.
Okay, so
obviously they like something he was doing.
So your view of the matter is that we should allow the discretion to animate the leadership. My view is that we shouldn't.
What I'm telling you is that you cannot bring cyborgs.
Discretion.
You cannot bring cyborgs into government. So one way or the other, discretion will be exercised.
Yes, but I'm saying we should minimize the discretion. We can't rely on character. Are you talking about character? We should rely on the character of the politicians. Is that what you want to say? We should rely on character.
If you were calling out,
you say we should rely on character of politicians. We should rely on character.
If you were calling out Akufo-Addo in the 8 years that you were defending everything he was doing, some of the things he did, he wouldn't have done.
There's no precedent that you can defend in 8 years everything he does because men are fallible.
You managed to defend everything.
No, it's not possible.
Okay.
You defend. Show me one thing.
It's not possible.
So back to my message.
It's not possible.
Show me one thing, Paul. Highlight one thing.
No, it's not possible.
That you went against the Akufo-Addo government.
It's not possible for any president.
So let me
President Mahama.
It is possible.
To president for 8 years without having done anything.
It is possible.
Human beings are fallible.
Please allow me.
Human beings are fallible. So how is it possible for that? All I'm saying is that we should reduce the disposition of a human being's character because we cannot rely on character of human beings to run our country. We have to rely on systems.
Yes, Paul.
That is why at 29 and 30 we're done in 1960 before you and I were born. But we will live by it.
Let us have this conversation. We had something called ESLA.
Yes.
That President Mahama brought into being to protect us from cost overruns when it comes to fuel. When the NPP came to government, Kenoforiata went to parliament, right? And they took ESLA. Where's ESLA today? ESLA is in a hole that it will climb out of in 2035. They went and mortgaged ESLA, collected the funds and blew it. Isn't ESLA and statutory funds an example of limiting discretion of public appointees? What did Kenoforiata and Akufo-Addo do with it?
Okay.
No, don't answer.
Don't answer.
Don't
no,
answer.
I'm just expressing. I'm agreeing with you.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Let me agree with you.
No, don't agree with me. Your agreement is disruption. Let me finish with it.
Can you finish?
I could go on. No.
Are you doing a review? Are you doing a review of Akufo-Addo's government?
Hold on.
Is that what you want to do?
I have always been a critic of Akufo-Addo. And his government, I told Ghanaians that he will destroy the country. He has destroyed the country. So don't worry. Let me finish my point. I'm saying that.
Did Kufuor destroy the country?
ESLA. Let's not go talk about President Kufuor.
Why not?
I'm talking about Akufo-Addo. ESLA it's a perfect example. Statutory payments and statutory funds are a perfect example of limiting politicians' discretion. What did Ken Oforiatta do with it?
What did he do with it?
Ken Oforiatta took SNIT funds and collateralized it and chopped the money.
Chop the money.
Right?
Minister of Finance chopped the money.
Where's the money? That is the money.
The Minister of Finance chopped the money.
That is the money that they spent that you and I are today paying with our savings.
Okay.
The Minister of Finance chopped the money, Kojo. The Minister of Finance chopped the money.
Where is it? If they haven't chopped it, where is it?
The Minister of Finance took the state's money and chopped it.
I said, where
he
is the
chopped
money?
it or he bought
Okay,
what?
they spent
He
it.
chopped it.
They spent it willy-nilly
On themselves. They spent it on themselves, right?
Who knows what they did with it? The money is not there.
So the politicians took the money and chopped it, and our
said,
systems don't have any way to find it.
When you go,
there's an auditor general.
They asked him to come and answer for his tenure, and some of your friends are telling me he shouldn't come.
No, they asked him to come and answer for specific things. It's not that
Why
they asked him to come and answer for cathedral. They asked him to come and answer for some SML. They asked him to come and answer. Yes, but it's
$97 million hole. A $97 million black hole.
What does that
when
mean?
We could have put a medical school at that spot.
What
What
does that mean?
They are too poor. I said, you are a serial defender.
Of what?
Of many things that have gone wrong. I asked you to give me one.
You can have that opinion.
No, it's
but
not
over
opinion.
time you may change it.
Oh, you know something.
Over time you may change it.
I respect your right
over time you
to defend the indefensible.
And I don't think I defend the indefensible.
No,
but that's okay.
And you know.
But over time you may change it. I don't want to argue on that.
Paul, you know
over time you may change
it. You know that when I listen to your program, I text you.
And I read it.
No, you read it when you want to read it.
I read all your
Some
texts.
of the things, some of the things he takes the phone and said, don't you go fast texting me, but I won't read it.
Oh, maybe because it's harsh on the person.
It's not harsh.
Maybe it's harsh. Some of your texts are harsh. You know that some of your texts are harsh.
You see, the issue.
Kojo, let me ask you.
I asked Paul a pivotal question. I said, let Paul give us one policy of the Akufo-Addo government.
One policy?
One policy that he thought was adverse to the Ghanaian people and didn't defend. He couldn't
the DDP was
and
adverse.
he sought.
The DDP was adverse.
You know what
the DDP was adverse.
You know what
I'm telling you now, the DDP was an adverse policy.
He sought to
tell
pivot,
people that you can't
he
pay
sought
their money.
to pivot to President Akufo.
No, I'm bringing President Akufo in because I'm talking about posterity. I'm talking about the things you guys said about President Akufo, which you changed later on. And that's why I'm saying that maybe you will change it.
MPP said the same thing about Jerry Rawlings.
And they changed it later on. Yes. No, but you said things about President Akufo that you changed. Have you apologized to him?
We are not talking.
Have you apologized to President Akufo?
I will not
apologize to President Akufo. Have you apologized to President Akufo? One day you just might apologize to your uncle. You just might apologize to your Kapim uncle.
Is my cousin.
Your cousin. Your Kapim cousin. One day you apologize to him.
Did you apologize to President Mahama?
I never said anything about President Mahama.
You said about him.
No, I never said.
Really?
Yes, I've had arguments with them, and if you look at it, I always talk about President Mahama's people. Sometimes I come on TV and say, why are you giving the president this advice?
You know something.
So I apologize to Musa Dankwa. One day you apologize to your cousin. One day you may apologize to him. One day you may apologize to your cousin.
You had no choice. In the case of Musa Dankwa, because you were exposed. You were brutally exposed.
But
you said on your program
only with time.
You said on your program that people like Musa, and I'm quoting you. How can people like Musa Dankwa call themselves posters?
But you said that John Mahama was going to win 2016 elections. You were sure. I had that conversation with you 2 days to the election. You were sure he was going to win.
Yes,
he didn't win.
I'm not
were you exposed?
I'm not the poster.
Were you exposed?
I am.
Were you exposed when you were sure that John Mahama was going to win 2016? And I told you he may not win. Were you exposed?
I am an engineer.
I'm not a poster. I'm a news reporter.
So why did you stand on your program and say that Musa Dankwa? How can people like Musa Dankwa call themselves posters? How do you do that?
But you said the same thing about Ben Epson.
You
said the same thing about Ben Epson in 2016. Yes. That when Ben predicted that Akufo-Addo was going to win, you say, you didn't say
Ben
that.
Epson is watching this show.
Ben Epson watching the show.
He's watching.
Yes.
Don't, Paul. You won't get anywhere with that kind of thing with me.
But you are bringing it.
I didn't talk.
You are saying
I don't
that
talk about Ben Epson.
I have to go and apologize.
I said,
and I'm saying, have you apologized to J. Akufo?
For what?
For the things you said, which you have now backtracked.
Name what I said.
Oh, that Kufuor's government was economic downturn. Kufuor had chopped money. Kufuor was a criminal. The people in his government had bank accounts abroad. You said it. The forum you guys used to do. Setting the record straight. Setting the record straight. I can't setting the record straight.
You see him?
Are you going to apologize to President Kufuor?
You see him?
One day you must be.
Ankoye bada me kan sada na me ho nhyada ye to abade wie ye de na ankoye bada me kan sada na me ho nhyada emfa me papa nti sa hoden a mesi kurom na me dia ye no na nkom square ti me hwe ye okay mo ye but na ekọ no ye ballot box ni ye ko hu Benito hospital wo yi Dombase utra form na asana wa ko Dombase asoko ko nzo azio o de ko hu no nti me ye petition e de ma wo mo se mo hwe na mo yade a mo ye menti ase Amrano makwan say be collusion ya de collusion no say be enko square now was this matter is going back to court in another shape. Yes, that petition one ya de Amrano smart bede ma electoral commission for no man share that nke ka ho bibia na ye de call electoral petition. And my animal lawyer for me, time no man can be in the copper home 1 day. 1 day. No more do court or get court upon. That was when I was home. She's time no a pound 1 day. You know, the moon is out of I feel never call a pound 1 day. I'm a shame, Manadania digging. I'm a shuma, would the fire, okay, severe. Osha is a manano time no, be at my chair. And as I do 12 o'clock, the tap no checking in no. Okay, lawyer for moon years no person because time no matter how about pound the other. And no ne kwesi ya omukoya. Now no cry chi wunzuro I man so ya o de ne ade. Wo si ya se wo dwane ya so se MP ya se wo de ye chini ya ko ya kwansere mu a wote ye ko parliament believe no ko ho bai wo ha. As I be my speaker and be my clerk until me you know we be what to with and sign a court to my he said yeah be a further substitution substituted service I feel yeah say you be fan the phone so your phone number you can if you gate the or if be bomb prego you have more you have be some more court and I feel as well and then the lawyer for the ko hwe mu no I'm say you be do I'm say I want time na pound back technical say yes and it's fine. Now, I can be a lawyer for no or more rules, no deeper lawyer crowd, or mamma, no, or no grad, need me a bankrupt. Many in the court school, a school, they say me, or did Mara and I was a new area. Oh, yeah, it's a command.
We're live in Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. We sincerely apologize for the disruptive nature of the interaction. We'll do better. We'll do better. Some of you have expressed your disquiet about it, and legitimately so. It's sometimes that's how the shows are. It gets a little heated, and then one panelist doesn't want the other person to land because they disagree and so on and so forth. Please bear with us. We've had an off-air conversation. We've set the ground rules, so please, we'll do much better. But let me read some of the messages that have come in because we haven't brought. No, I beg you. We haven't brought in. We haven't brought in our viewers
You should tell the public that you suspended the program because Paul had busted the gasket. There was steam coming out of his forehead.
Well,
so
it's
you needed the cleaning crew to come in.
I just got a text that I think you should see. You see, I got a text that you should see, and I want to make this public invitation.
All right, let me.
Wait. NDC person, Edugitamaklo writes, is Paul Adom-Otchere. You see why a monologue is not the best. Kojo Chumbuafo just proved to you a second opinion is great. But I'm throwing this open invitation, Kojo.
To do what?
NDC people who want to come on Good Evening. Mustafa Bande came once in the heat of the election. I'm more than happy to host any NDC person. Okay. I'm delighted to host any NDC.
The NDC at no point has any NDC person said that you don't invite NDC.
Yes, but why am I being accused of monologue?
Yeah. Oh, but that's what you do.
But that's my editorial. The graphic has an editorial. But the graphic has an editorial.
You sit.
There's a news report and there's an editorial.
You sit on your program and you do a Rush Limbaugh.
But when you watch News File, there's Samson's take. That's his editorial. The graphic. I shouldn't have an editorial.
No, I didn't say that.
But that's my editorial.
So but vary the editorial to reflect what you have said here today.
It's my editorial. So you can come.
You said an open invitation. You made a statement. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has
every human being does.
The government that you defended steadily for 8 years also had flaws. You never mentioned them.
Okay.
What were the flaws in the Mahama first government?
Let me exercise my editorial discretion.
Why are you
and read some
asking me
messages. I beg you. Let me do this. Let me exercise my editorial discretion.
Your editorial discretion.
Yes. So Prince Henry from Koforidua says, "Good morning, boss." He says, STEM simply means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It basically refers to a broad field of study that encompasses these 4 interconnected disciplines. So Paul Adom-Otchere suggesting that before Akufo-Addo, there was no STEM schools in Ghana. No, that's not what he said. He talked about free STEM. STEM, that's what he meant. How does building schools building schools to augment STEM education become the introduction of STEM in Ghana? Paul should stop the propaganda and stop misleading the public falsely. God bless our homeland, Ghana. That's from Prince from Koforidua. And so I was reading, so Kakra Samoa is actually back based on what you said. I think that, okay, so Paul is back. He says Abraham Lincoln did not write any book. Okay, that's from Kakra Samoa. Now, Professor Michael Pesa-White of SIGA.
Oh, good guy.
He says, Moro, Paul is engaged in broad ocean fishing. He is uncertain of his own claims, just filling the airtime with meaningless chain of words.
If they will allow us to talk policy, we'll be fine. But if they do
propaganda, you stood on your program and said Kisia Jabi is a drunkard. Is that policy?
So Kwame Sapwase, CBD.
I said, Paul, he stood on his program.
He said
the OSP
said that President Kufuor is doing cocaine. Did you apologize to every president? You said that his party was doing cocaine. Since 2008.
Massa,
let
me quote you to me. Me, say President Kufuor, that's cocaine.
You said President Kufuor's government.
There's people who were doing cocaine.
The people who were doing Benjamin came. You said President Kufuor's government, that's cocaine. Did you apologize?
The people who were doing cocaine, now he's not even mentioning them.
Who are they? Tell me.
You see where he has people.
Tell me.
You stood on your program. You said the OSP is a drunkard.
You said President Kufuor is doing cocaine. Did you apologize?
Me?
Did you apologize?
Me?
Koshini. So Kwame Sapwase, CDD, right? He says, can you let Paul know that with the Sputnik vaccine inquiry, the former health minister was indicted and the money was to be retrieved from Sheikh Al Maktoum.
Yeah, it was refunded.
The health ministry breached so many provisions of the provisions of the constitution and said under oath he was not thinking straight. The 2.8 million cedis has not been returned to the best of my knowledge. Records will show I was one of the people to raise this at the height of COVID.
I think that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The CDD guy raised it.
And then this one
but wait.
Every criminal who is in jail today can come and tell you that you will refund. Can come and tell us you refund all the things you have stolen. Right? How does that make you? How does that make you absolve you of the crime you've committed?
Okay. All right.
How does Kwekwa Jumamenu, who was one of the oldest members of parliament, breach procurement rules and policy here telling us we have suspended common sense at the time?
No, I didn't say that. You see, when you talk about a breach, we have to be clear who is determining a breach. A court is the one who determines a breach. We can all suggest a breach. We can all allege a breach. But it's a court that must determine. These are the things I'm talking about. So that it doesn't become black, white, green, blue, and things change. When we say somebody has breached, you see what? Why are you still on bail on Yoko? Does it make sense?
The Kisia Jabin drinks.
And the Kufuor
it is MPP communication strategy. Just as we speak, Samuel Boabin has tested me that Kisia Jabin drinks heavy. As if they say that they drink. But you said it on your program.
But did he quote me?
No, he didn't go to his expression.
But he's doing the thing that you were doing. You said President Kufuor's government is cocaine. So they should vote out the government for Mills to be elected.
The people who were doing the cocaine in Kufuor's government, you don't know them.
But who? I mean, name them.
I should name them.
Yes. Because I remember you and the setting the record straight saying that Kufuor's government is cocaine.
And
then they went to a breach to apologize. Alote Jacobs went to a breach to apologize.
Alote Jacobs.
Yeah, other time you were working with him. In 2008 you were working with him.
Alote Jacobs.
You were working with him.
Alote
Jacobs. In 2008 you were working with him. On the Mills agenda, you were working with him. The thunder
that will strike you is still rolling heavy.
There's no thunder that will strike me.
Alright, so Evans Dinko.
I'm PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.